Hello guys, good morning. I hope you are all doing well. Good. We started something last week, but unfortunately we couldn't finish. But we had to do another thing today. But in the meantime, I'll give you exercises to complete what we started last week. Good. Today, our lesson for today is determinants. As you can see, written on the board, determinants. But before we discuss determinants, we want to go back to what we discussed last week. I think we started with the same determinants, but then an aspect of determinants. We spoke of the articles in English language. We spoke of the general articles, as in the definite article and the indefinite articles. Remember, we said we have 26 alphabets in the English language. But if we speak of the ones that take the indefinite articles are the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Any letter that begins with the vowel takes both the indefinite articles. So out of the five out of the 26, we have 21 consonant sounds. So the consonant takes the what? The definite article in the English language. I guess by now you might be forming sentence or looking at words that will take the A, E, I, O, U with the definite and the indefinite article. So for instance, I think we gave a lot of examples the last time we met. So you can, for example, have an aeroplane. Very good. An apple. And what have you, etc. And a definite article are those that take all the words beginning with the consonant sounds. Good. But today we are going to discuss something differently from what we had last week, which is determinants. Good. But in order to know what determinants are, we should first of all know what our nouns are. And we all know what nouns are. Nouns generally are naming words. Anything that has a name is a noun. Good. If the item or entity has a name, then it's a noun. We don't want to go into details, but let's take that for now. Good. So, in discussing determinants, any words that comes before or after a noun is classified as a determinant. Good. So for instance, if you have a word like chair, good. Okay. A word that comes before the noun chair is classified as a determinant. So for instance, I can have the chair. Though this is an article, but then it's classified as a determinant. Good. One other example I want to ask to give is book. You have a noun book and a determinant comes at this. So this book. So this becomes a determinant. Very good. So for the purposes of our discussions, we are going to look at determinants into details. So from what I have demonstrated on the board now, you can give a definition of a determinant as any word, okay, any word that appear before or after a noun can be described as what? A determinant. Good. We go on to mention that we are going to discuss three types of determinants. Three good types of determinants. The first one we discuss is predeterminants. Central determinants. And post-determinants. I will explain all of that to you later on as the lesson progresses. Good. So, for our discussions today, we'll go straight to predeterminants. Okay. So, we are going to discuss all of these type of determinants, the predeterminant, central, and post-determinants. But for the sake of our discussion, we'll discuss only one type of determinant. Then, the next time we meet, we go further to discuss the central and the post-determinants. Very good. So the predeterminants are those determinants that comes before the noun. Pre means before. Pre means before. Example, any determinant that comes before a noun is a predeterminant. You cannot state whether a determinant is pre or post in isolation unless they are used in a structure that you can tell that this is a post or predeterminant. Because all of the determinants both can be used in either pre or post determinants. So good. We are going to discuss. So we said The predeterminate always comes before any other determiner in a sequence of modifiers or in a structure. Good. So that is, if we have a group of determinants like what we have, for instance, all my friends I have are good academically. All my friends I have are good academically. So the determinants in this structure will be all my friends. Okay? That will be what? All. So my friends now becomes your what? Your noun. Is that understood? So all becomes the what? A predeterminer. Good. So we have a structure like this. You will pay double the price. You pay double the price. A structure like this, you pay double the price. So double the price, double becomes a predeterminer. The price becomes a noun. Is that understood? Very good. So we have a whole other example about predeterminants. Example, all, both, such, there, this, mine, your, and what have you. All of those examples are called predeterminants. We're going to use them in a structure. If you get a note, you understand into details. All right. So we move on. Say in a predeterminant, for instance, okay, oftentimes when you use the predeterminants, you have to consider the noun that is used in a structure. Okay, we have some nouns that do not take specific predeterminants. For instance, if you have a noun like a proper noun like Kofi, okay, yes, you cannot use a predeterminant all with Kofi in a structure. Is that understood? Yes. So all is a predeterminant, but it cannot be used with Kofi in a structure. Good. So not every predeterminant will determine the noun to use. So you have to consider the noun in question before you choose the determiner to be used. Good. All right. So I have a host of examples here. A host of examples. So we have the teachers, the big teachers, the 5 teachers, all of those that come before the noun teachers, they are all determinants. So determinants can come in sequence. For instance, I'll have the teacher. There is a determinant that comes with the teacher. The big teachers, okay? They are determinants that come with the teachers. They are in sequence. When we have an example, the big 5 teachers. So the big 5 teachers now becomes the what? The predeterminant. All the big 5 teachers, they are all determinants. So determinants can come in sequences. So they come after one another in a structure to make the structure very, very understandable. All right, good. So we've discussed determinants that do not come along with nouns. We'll discuss determinants that comes in sequence with a noun. Good. So we'll go straight into what? To the post-determinants. Post-determinants. In post-determinants, post means after. These are determinants that comes after the noun in a structure. Good. So let's read from the book so that we explain. We said these post-determinants are determinants which occur last in sequence of determinants. For example, if the determinant may or should occur in a sequence or in a structure, then many will occur last because it is a post-determinant. Very good. So for example, you can have a structure like this. All the many faces on the poster are politicians. All the many faces on the poster are what? Politicians. So in a structure, all the many faces. So all the many is a post-determinant, okay? But we are centering our discussion on many, which comes in the last of a structure. So this becomes a what? A post-determinant. Another example is half the 8 are children. Half the 8, okay, are children. Very good. I will explain this structure to you. Very good. As and when the class progresses. So let's take determinants like many, few, and little, or several. Okay. These are determinants that appear at the post-determinant stage. Very good. But before we go on, in every structure, the SVOCA rules applies, where you have the subject, verb, object, complement, and adjunct. And for the sake of the lesson, we are not going to discuss complements and adjuncts. We are going to talk about subject, verb, and object only. Very good. So these determinants appear in the objective position and structure. anytime you read a sentence, the subject for the traditional grammarian, subject should come first, verb comes second, and object comes last. But these determiners, usually the post comes before the subject. Is that understood? And the predeterminers comes before the subject, and the post comes after the verb. That is how it is. Good. So anytime you want to discuss the position of determiners, first look at the SVOCA rule, where the subject, verb, object, complement, and adjunct comes before you can determine whether the determiner comes in the post or the preposition. Good. Good. All right. So we move on to the central determiners. The central determiners are what we discussed last week. The central determiner makes up of the articles of English language, where you have the definite article and indefinite articles. Good. So you can have an example of an orange was stolen. An orange was stolen. Where I discussed that in the English language, where you have vowels and consonants in English segments, all of the vowels take the word, the indefinite article a and an. In every letter that begins with a vowel takes the indefinite article a and an at the beginning before they are mentioned, and those that begins with a consonant sound or a consonant letter, okay, take the definite article there. All right, so that is that.